So yeah, it's fun stuff. Yeah. Hey, so I want to get into a couple of things, Mike. I want to get into what gave you your entrepreneurial mindset. Tell me about your upbringing in Chicago and your family and all that. Who is? Did you have somebody you aspire to be like when when you became this entrepreneurial minded person that wanted to be?
I had a prolific uncle who was the family patriarch who had a real estate business on the south side of Chicago that moved to the north side of Chicago, and I would just watch him make deals. And it's interesting, he was buying mobile home parks, and like my family had like 3 or 4 mobile home parks when nobody wanted to touch mobile home parks, but he was doing a great service for those people who that was the type of housing that they could afford and they needed. And he made beautiful mobile home parks in Waukegan and one in Iowa, I think it's Cedar Rapids. And he inspired me by just how he could see a piece of land and understand how it could help so many people. And then he was always looking for a deal. He was always driving around trying to find something. And that entrepreneurial mindset, really, I wanted to be him. I wanted to be just like him as a young kid. Now, I knew I was interested in politics. So I was like, real estate was too boring for me. And I knew that I wanted to get into high profile action. So I knew early on that it was going to be entrepreneur politics, but not running for office, but actually the business of politics, which was just starting to take off as a huge business. So I became a pollster, and in a campaign, the pollster is one of the more important people because we have the data, and we have the data on what you need to win. And that's where I started.
Absolutely.
This idea of momentum, because politics is all about getting momentum at the right moment on election day.
Absolutely. And so as a kid, your uncle was inspiration to you, and then moving to New York. When starting out as a young guy in New York, who was around you then that kind of fed your passion, fed that drive that continued?
I joined a company when I was 18. I moved from Chicago to New York, and if anybody who's done that, that's very traumatic. Because Chicago is a wonderful city. It feels like a small town. And New York was this just smelly hustle and bustle. I knew no one, but the business was there. And I was working for these 2 young guys who were inspirational in the sense that they were the smartest, most creative, but the most dysfunctional people I had ever met. And I realized that I realized I was home. Like one of them was really great on computers and was of that age with like Bill Gates, Steve Wozniak building computers in their garages. Steve Jobs, one of the partners, was making this amazing computer system that we could analyze data. And another partner was a whiz-bang, knew everything about politics, could remember the name of everybody who he had met. They both went to Harvard College, which if you grew up in Chicago, you don't even know where Harvard College was in those days. But when you get to New York, they start to tell you about it. So the 2 of them had gone to Harvard, and every day I was inspired. And I was working 16 to 18 hours in college, because these guys were inspiring me so much. And then they asked me to drop out of college. And I thought, that doesn't sound like a good idea. No matter how interesting, I think I should get my degree. And as soon as I graduated, I went to work for them, and we took a company of 5 people, which was a walk-up on 3rd Avenue over a McDonald's. That's where I was working. We turned that into a business that in 2001, we sold to a holding company, and all of a sudden, I was 33 years old, and I had enough money that I would never have to think about money again.
Awesome. How big was the company that you sold? You went from 5 employees to how many in 2001?
200.
Nice.
And the day we closed is the best day ever. 9/10/2001.